As you can see, today we're making Nepali momos, and if I can make them, I'm sure you can make them. This recipe will yield you about 6 large momos. So you start with 2 cups of flour mixed with a pinch of salt and about 3/4 cups of warm water, which you're going to mix until you get a dough, and then you're going to let that dough sit for about 30 minutes to an hour. In the meantime, we're going to work on our filling, so I'm going for a vegetable filling, which includes onions, green peppers, carrots, garlic, ginger, and some spices and sauces that I'm going to add a little bit later. So while I'm cutting all that, let's talk about where did Nepali momos originate from. They're widely believed to have originated in Tibet as far back as the 14th century, and the indigenous inhabitants of the Kathmandu Valley in Nepal primarily traded with Tibet, which influenced the exchange of goods and cultures across the Himalayan region. So, traditionally in Tibet, because of its high elevation of about 4,500 meters or 15,000 feet above sea level, there was very limited agriculture, meaning that diet was mainly focused on meat and dairy. So, traditionally, Tibetan momos were stuffed with yak meat. Nepal, on the other hand, has an average elevation of 3,300 meters, or about 11,000 feet. It's still one of the highest countries in the world, but in its Terai region, Nepal has extremely fertile land, granting them more access to vegetables, herbs, and spices. So now just add everything together in a bowl and just mix it before you add your spices and seasonings. So we're going to start with some salt. Then we're going to move on to black pepper, red chili powder for some heat. You can adjust this according to your spice tolerance. And then you're going to want to mix this together. I'm doing this voice recording while watching the footage itself, so I apologize for some of the timing. Now you're going to add some lemon juice. And then you're also going to add some soy sauce and just mix it all together. So another reason that there's a lot of diversity in momos these days is that there was and still is a strong street food culture in Kathmandu, which encouraged experimentation. So this helped momos become more flavorful and diverse. I'm a little bit behind, but you're going to roll out your dough. You're going to divide it into 6 pieces. These are large pieces. You can do more or less depending on the size of the momos. And then you're just going to roll them out till you get a flat circle. It doesn't need to be perfect. You're going to end up folding it together anyways. But now let's talk about what about Chinese influence. So momos are part of the broader family of Asian dumplings. So they share similarities with Chinese dumplings like, and I'm going to butcher this here, but baozi or jiaozi, which originated over 1,800 years ago during the Han Dynasty. And historically, Tibet has had strong cultural trade connections with China, which has influenced its cuisine. However, there is no agreed origin point. Some argue that momos are derived from Chinese dumplings. Others argue that they were developed independently, and some even say that the momo is related more closely to the Mongolian buz. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, there's a lot of debate over the origin of the momo. Now that you've got it rolled out, just add your filling. Make sure not to overstuff them. And then you're just going to fold them gently, pinching at the seam to help seal it. And if you do have an issue with getting a proper seal, you can get a little bit of water just to seal the edges. I do that a little bit later because some of these momos were causing problems. Another thing is Tibet momos are steamed or boiled and are typically milder. Nepali momos are usually steamed, pan-fried, or occasionally served in broth, and they usually are spicier and have diverse fillings. But nowadays, I think that diversity has found itself in both regions. So for my momos, I'm going to pan-fry them. So we're going to heat up a pan with oil, add 3 momos at a time, and you're going to let them sit for about 2 minutes on medium-low heat so you can develop a crisp edge underneath. And then you're going to add water, about 2 tablespoons, quickly cover it up, and the high heat will cause the water to steam almost immediately, and you're going to let it sit like that for 5 to 7 minutes so it cooks fully through. And yeah, after that, you just wait for the water to evaporate 5 to 7 minutes, and you are good. So now the momos are done. They might be a little bit sticky, but because of the oil, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Just take a spoon or a fork, push them around a bit, and they should come off quite easily. And you should get that crisp underneath. So this is our second batch, and I'm going to take this moment to just review the momos. I did write down my initial thoughts. I'm recording this voiceover about 4 weeks after fact, so I don't want to... I'll just read off my initial thoughts. The flavor was all there. It was really, it was a bit spicy, but again, you can adjust the spice tolerance based on your needs. It was salty. I think I added a little bit too much soy sauce, but not a big issue. It was a little bit, the dough was a little too thick, so it was quite chewy on the edges, but once you got to the center, it actually did help with the salt because there was more dough. So yeah, overall it was really good. I suggest you make it. I'm pretty sure your momos will turn out better than mine. I did not finely chop my ingredients or roll out the dough as fine as I should have, but all in all, very fun experience and cool history about momos. I didn't know they were so complex, and I actually did not know they originate in Tibet until I started doing research. So I'll have all the links and sources in the description, and thanks.